Have you ever wondered, what cars do they use in WRC? Do all WRC cars have the same engine? Are WRC cars expensive? How fast do WRC cars go? Well, let's find out. Hi there, motorsport fans. If you're new here, we warmly welcome you. Today, coming up, we have an exciting topic. The WRC cars. Yes, exciting, right? Let's dive right in and get started. World Rally cars are designed to compete at the highest level of World Rally Championship rallies. World Rally cars are significantly modified to maximize performance, yet they are based on production vehicles. They've got license plates and may travel on public roads, because they are extensions of manufacturing cars. WRC established World Rally car regulations for the first time in 1997, and various changes have been under adoption since then. World Rally vehicles use a 1.6-litre direct injection turbocharged engine, and all cars, including the Yaris WRC, have inline 4-cylinder engines positioned transversely. A variety of changes might be made, including increasing the engine displacement to 2 litres, forced induction, including an anti-lag system, adding 4-wheel drive, installing a sequential gearbox, changing the suspension layout and attachment points, aerodynamic body modifications, lowering the weight to a minimum of 1,230 kilos, and strengthening the chassis for greater rigidity. Cars are also equipped with air restrictors of 36mm in diameter to reduce output. Nonetheless, the vehicles are fully capable of more than 380 horsepower and more than 425 Nm of torque. These high horsepower and torque figures are efficient, which delivers to all 4 wheels via forwarding 6-speed sequential semi-automatic gears equipped with full-time 4-wheel drive systems with active center differentials. Furthermore, the vehicles are outfitted with dedicated aero elements that enhance driving stability, such as change to direction for expanded width and huge rear wings. The Yaris WRC was created on the World Rally Car standards. It's got incredible engine performance, a clever 4-wheel drive system, excellent traction suspension, and exceptional aerodynamic performance. As a result, the Yaris WRC is capable of driving safely and at high speeds on diverse routes around the world. Unlike the previous Group A standards, producers were no longer obliged to build homologation specialities to meet clearance. The base model didn't have to have all the attributes of a WRC car, as proven by the Peugeot 206, 307, Citroën Zara, and Skoda Fabia, which did not have a road car variant with a turbocharged petrol engine or 4-wheel drive during this period. A minimum length of 4,000mm was one of the requirements. The Peugeot 206 had an overall length of 3,835mm. Peugeot had to create at least 2,500 vehicles with expanded bumpers to meet the needed measurements. Beginning April 2011, the rules for WRC cars became more stringent. Development of rules based on Super 2000 cars that had a piece of modified aerodynamic equipment. The automobiles were smaller models. There was no longer a minimum 4-meter length requirement, with a 1,600 centimeter squared direct injection turbocharged engine, a 33mm diameter air restrictor, and a maximum pressure of 2.5 bar, limiting torque to around 400 Nm. Exotic materials, titanium, magnesium, ceramics, and composites were prohibited unless it includes the base model, except for bodywork side protections where multiple layers of aramid fiber are allowed. Carbon fiber and aramid fiber are under severe restriction. Just one layer of fabric is employed and is bonded to the exposed face of the part. The 1.6-litre turbocharged engine was kept in the 2017 World Rally Car regulations, although the diameter of the turbo restrictor was raised from 33 to 36mm, raising the engine's power output from 230 to 280 kilowatts, 310 to 380 horsepower. The minimum vehicle weight was reduced by 25 kilos. Manufacturers are also granted additional leeway to enhance aerodynamic performance, massive brake cooling ducts in fairings generating wider wheel arches, and the use of electronically controlled active center differentials, although front and rear differentials remain mechanical. Speaking of cars, the most popular WRC cars are known to be Citroën Zara WRC, Citroën C4 WRC, Citroën DS3 WRC, Citroën C3 WRC, Ford Escort WRC, Ford Focus RS WRC, Ford Fiesta RS WRC, Ford Fiesta WRC, and many others. Now, let's look at some engines. The World Rally cars have a 1.6-litre direct injection turbocharged engine, and all cars, including the Yaris WRC, have inline 4-cylinder engines positioned transversely. Cars are equipped with air restrictors of 36mm in diameter to reduce output. Since its debut in 2017, the engine, aerodynamics, suspension, and other components of the Yaris WRC have received multiple upgrades, and the car's performance has progressively increased year after year. As a result, the Yaris WRC is capable of driving safely at high speeds on diverse routes around the world. The crew has worked hard to make the car lighter while also improving the engine's performance. Now that we talked about engines, what about tyres? Aren't they the most important aspect to keep in mind when it comes to rallies? Well, yes, they are. In a rally, the appropriate tyre size in racing is determined by whether the automobile is driving on gravel or tarmac. 15-inch tyres are typically used for gravel, whereas 18-inch tyres are used for tarmac. The amount of tyres we can use for each championship event is under restriction by the event, and when to replace tyres is an important racing tactic. Now, apart from engines and tyres, let's talk about specifications. Vehicle characteristics and settings vary depending on the competition, depending on whether the rally is going to be on gravel, snow, or even asphalt. Replacement of equipment like the brakes and suspension is a must. Vehicle height must be kept to a minimum for rallies held on smooth pavement. But on uneven gravel rally roads, the automobile should be higher to avoid collision with the road surface. In addition, settings such as the suspension and powertrain are modified as needed to adapt to changing road conditions, such as rain. Installing an auxiliary light source on the hood, also known as a light pod, improves visibility at night. When we speak of the rally, we can't skip the service park. While pit stops are used in circuit races, servicing and repairs are held at the rally service park. Once the competition begins, servicing time is limited to 15 minutes in the morning before the race, 30 minutes throughout the day, and 45 minutes at night. Rallies in Spain include both gravel and tarmac routes. Because extensive modifications are required to convert the characteristics from gravel to tarmac, a 75-minute interval is under reservation for the evening service slot. Once the car is under maintenance at night, it parks in a garage known as a parc fermé, where it cannot be serviced again until the following morning. Now, let's see how expensive a WRC car is. Well, a rally car can cost up to $15,000 to build from the ground up. It depends on how much it will cost to manufacture a car suitable for a rally stage. However, rally cars used in events, such as WRC, are more expensive, with a 2020 WRC car costing over $1 million. However, these figures are highly dependent on a variety of different factors. Let's go over the components of a rally car and the kinds of things you should think about if you want to construct one yourself and compete in a rally event. The first thing you should ask yourself when starting a rally car project is whether or not you want to acquire a new car or use one you already own. If you buy one, the cost will increase significantly, and this will vary depending on the automobile you have chosen. As a result, we're not going to include the cost of purchasing a car here. Safety equipment is the next thing you should think about when building a rally car. Rally racing, like any modern racing series, has stringent safety regulations for automobiles entering races. Safety is the area that will not change much in terms of what's required when you look at the different levels of competition. The first thing you really need to consider when it comes to safety is a roll cage. The roll cage, which is technically called a rollover protection system, ROPS, is what's going to protect you and your possible co-driver if you roll the automobile. These come in many shapes and sizes, but expect to spend at least a few $1,000s on a solid roll cage, with the average configuration costing approximately $4,000. Aside from that roll cage, the next purely safety component, which you're going to require at least one of, and frequently two, are fire extinguishers, which cost between $50 and $100. While your seats are not simply a piece of safety equipment, they must also satisfy a specific standard, and be light so that you can save some weight. You're going to need to attach them to the car with suitable rails, and these can cost between $1,500 and $2,000 for 2 seats, and other fixings. You're also going to need some rally-worthy harnesses. A basic seatbelt isn't going to cut it, and in some circumstances, a head and neck restraint device is a requirement. These, along with the necessary repairs, will most likely cost roughly $750 for each set. So, with all the internal safety features, we've already surpassed the $7,000 mark. Then you're going to need a sump guard. This goes below the automobile and protects key sections such as the engine and exhaust from dirt and debris that gets kicked up when driving. These vary in price, but a good sump guard is going to cost you around $300. Finally, excellent rally-ready suspension is also a requirement. You're going to be traveling through some high-end terrain, and your standard automobile suspension is not going to be able to tolerate it for long without being unstable and broken. The prices range from around $1,000 to more than $20,000. So let's say another $6,000 for anything in the low-middle bracket. It will undoubtedly be the most expensive aspect of your construction, but it is critical. Just one stage may wreak havoc on your suspension, and chances are that you'll have to get the most out of your bespoke rally build. So now that we've gotten that out the way, let's take a look at our total so far. Without considering other optional elements, which we will have to discuss in the following parts, you may expect to spend roughly about $15,000 to build your own rally car. This amount will be lower if you use lower quality parts or already have some on hand. It's going to be higher if you opt for more optional components or significantly modify your engine and suspension. While the cost is negligible to the millions it can cost to field a WRC car, it is still advisable to research to ensure that you receive the most value for your money when building a rally car. So that was it for the WRC cars. Hope you find the information informative, and thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time. What was the most interesting thing that you learned from today's video? Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed the content or learned anything new, then a like will be greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.